Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do another review of the Gunslinger Spawn issue number 4 by Image Comics, made by Todd McFarlane and Brad Booth. This is Brad Booth cover. Yeah, let's go. So, yeah, the clown is here. And this is not the clown that we remember from the earlier Spawn comics. Like I said in the earlier videos, I don't collect Spawn anymore, so I have no clue what happened, what events, and yeah. So, but this is the first time that Gunslinger Spawn meets up with the clown, and we see all these little minions around him, but also Violator, and these two are normally one and the same person, well, demon, if you will. But it seems that the clown wants to have a conversation, but also making a deal with the gunslinger. But then Dakota is still here, and she says, "He is my target. You want me to soften him up? That's what I'm doing." But yeah, that's the wrong thing to say. And he says, the clown says, "You're talking too long. Don't you ever interrupt me again." And then she tries to defend himself, but Violator steps in, and then this creature getting, destroyed or subdued, whatever. And he said, "Why did you even need my help in the first place?" She says, but he says that he thought that she was ready, but she's not. So she sends her away until he needs her again, but she's not happy with that. So yeah, Spawn is, still beaten up by the last fight between him and Dakota and his creatures. And he says, "I want my head back." And then he throws one of the minions into to Violator, because he doesn't care what the clown says to him, and he's not interested in his, proposition or whatever he is going to do. So he waited until the clown is finished with talking, and then he attacks. So he thought to himself that these minions, these are not, dangerous. They are just more numbers. The clown he cannot assess really good, because it's his first time that he sees them. Also with the Violator, but he thinks that when the Violator, if he can kill or hurt or maim the Violator, the other ones are getting maybe afraid, backing off, stuff like that. So he chops away at the Violator, but Violator says, "Nope." And he beats him down, and he's punching into his ribs a couple of minutes. And then Clown says, "Enough." I think he gets the point. So the clown says, he's threatening him a little bit more, and but it seems that Spawn is still, defiant. So and the clown says, "Well, I'm the alpha here, and you're gonna need to listen to me. And if you don't do what I'm saying, there's gonna be consequences." And he says, "Look, because these minions, I hate to have to unleash them." But Spawn says, "Right, why do your own fighting when you can cower behind others? I do the same if I was afraid." So he's goading him. So, but Clown steps into his, not really trap, because Spawn is at a disadvantage here. And then he sicks his minions to Spawn, and Spawn is now surprised, because he thought, they are just dangerous because they have a big number, but that's not the case. They are also dangerous because not only they have sharp teeth, but they are more rabid, like animal-like. And he's getting also again his ass kicked, and then he's being dragged away by these minions. And then this one, and this has some small humor in here. And the art is freaking fantastic. Brad Booth, great artist, very much detailed. But in this comic, there's almost none backgrounds at all, which is a shame, and I don't like that at all. So yeah, Clown says, "I'm gonna teach you a lesson, but you and I can work together. But you have to see things my way, so you need a little bit more motivation," he says. So he says, like a cool breeze in the wind. Well, that's not what it says, but like a cool breeze in his face. So he hangs him, and like they did in the Western times where he comes from, and but it seems that the clown, the proposition is that he has a way to get Spawn back to his time, and the clown wants to get off the planet. Now, I'm not sure what he means with that. Maybe he just wants to go back to hell, I think. And then he explains that he, before he does that. So we see here, Spawn is now awake, and he says, "I want to commend you on your cute trick hiding weapons in your head. I can pry them off. Appears you were clever enough to fuse them with your symbiote, so you're the only one that can remove them. Just like the bullet belts, those won't budge either." Now, there's a little bit small thing here, but I really like that because, I don't know, the whole symbiote thing is mostly, let's say, Venom, it's the whole symbiote is his shtick. In this case, that's not, in Spawn's case, in Medieval Spawn case, I'm sorry, Gunslinger Spawn, Medieval Spawn is another Spawn, Jesus, too many Spawns. Although they are part of who Spawn is, it's not that they are constantly alive and creeping around. No, those symbiote is pretty dormant, that's the word. It's not crawling around, it doesn't attack people yet. But it's not really relevant here. But the symbiote is still part of who he is, and it has a function. And in this case, holding the weapons together, fusing it together, and that he is the only one that can access them. It's not really important, but I don't know. It's just these small little things. I like that. And then this happens. So he gives him the hat back, but I thought to myself, wait a minute. Since when does the clown has these Spawn-like powers? Because that green energy thing is also a thing that Spawn can do. But there's an explanation. He says, "Don't you look so surprised. You're not the only one with the necro powers. And you know who gave those powers to me? Spawn." So the explanation is, he thought he finally figured a way to get rid of me. But guess what? The opposite happened. As I was being shot into Time Rip, his explosion created. Everyone else was heading into the other direction, including you. And I make sure I scraped a little power off anyone that passed by. And that happened in issue 301 of Spawn. Again, I don't know what happened. I don't know how the rift came to be. They also talk about dead zones. I still have a clue what that actually is. Dead zones, maybe it's in the word, but yeah, I don't know. Because I don't read Spawn and I'm not going to figure it out what the story is. Which is just unfortunate because this is a pretty new comic, so they're not really reader friendly, if you know what I mean. If you are still referenced back to older comics that maybe some people don't have or not interested in reading. So yeah, that's the downside. So Clown continues, "Do you know how much power that is when combined?" And he says, well, we have a flashback scene. He says, "Enough to put myself into 2 personas." So not sure why he did that in the first place, but yeah, they are now Clown and the Violator instead of, Clown or Violator. And he also confirms again that he may actually be the weakest of Hell Spawns, but and then he says, but given you acquired your power illegally, that should come as no shock to any of us. Again, what do you mean with acquire that power illegally? I mean, he's from the past. Of course, stuff couldn't happen in the past, but I have no knowledge. I don't know where to get that information. Maybe Google, but I don't know which comic that has been explained. If that überhaupt, that's a German word, if that's explained at all. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna look it up later after this review because I'm now curious too. And so he says your best chance of survival is not even to be here, not in this time frame. And then he goes back to I don't know where he gets this information, but he talks about that when Spawn was in the medieval times. So he says, I can get what I want, and you cannot get what I need. Did I say that correctly? Wait a minute. You cannot get what you want, but I cannot get what I want. Okay, you know what I mean. He says, because the rip in time is only going on in one direction, bringing people here. No one able is to go back because of the dead zones. They are locked, he says. And then he also talks about Cogliostro. He wants, because that's a key. Somebody has a key. Not sure if it's an actual physical key, probably not, probably a person. And, it says here, I forgot that. The only key to acquire that, the only one with a key is Spawn. So probably Spawn is the key or have the methods to open the rift. And Cogliostro, who's I think also from the past, I don't know, wants that key too. And it seems that Cogliostro, his Gunslinger Spawn's mortal enemy somehow. Not sure why. I mean, I knew Cogliostro from the original comics, from the Todd McFarlane covers comics, and he was just an old man in a slum in somewhere in the city, but not much more from that. I have no information again. Probably they fleshed him out later in the other Spawn comics. Probably, not entirely sure. Again, I'm just making stuff up because I think what it is, and I'm putting little pieces of the puzzle together. But that's not enough. So maybe we should guess and just see where this is going. Anyway, and then we see also a glimpse of his sister that was murdered, and here was the part that he's been sucked into the time rift or time portal. And then the clown shoots him down from the tree, and he says, I got a job for you. Get close to Spawn, and when the time comes, you stab him in the back. But he didn't agree to that, but that's what the clown wants. So, yeah, that leads us into the next issue. And then we see also the evolution of the clown. You can pause the video and see for yourself what's happening here. If you want, and it continues here as well. So if you read what happened in the Spawn issues and the evolution and the changes of what's being explained, you can read it here. And it brings us to the end of the video. So this is not much happening. It's just more, dripping the story a little bit. Is it a filler? No, it's not really a filler, but it's. There's some bargaining here and there, but after 20 pages, we still do not know anything. Well, bits and pieces. I don't know. I don't know. What I'm gonna do with this comic, I'm gonna see if this when this arc is ended, if it's gonna end, because if this is an ongoing series, it can go on forever. But let's say the storyline, if it's gonna end, I'm not sure if I'm gonna continue it. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. It all depends how the story goes and if I'm liking it enough to continue to review it. So no promises. I still like the art. I still like this whole new Spawn character, but I don't know. It needs to a little bit. I need a little bit more, but I'm not sure what more is. I'm gonna figure that out later, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.